Have you ever gone to make a major purchase and been turned down because your credit was bad? Or you were forced to pay more because your credit score was poor? Or maybe you couldn't get the perfect job you wanted because your credit was bad? If that's happened to you, then you'll really appreciate what my next guest has to say. Hi, I'm Ken Compton with JCM Direct, and my guest today is Lachelle Paul, better known as America's favorite credit diva. And our topic today is credit repair. Lachelle, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
I'm delighted to have you today. Before we get started on this important topic about credit repair, how about telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, Ken, I started out getting into the business of credit repair. I was studying paralegal. I had some credit issues myself. I was contemplating bankruptcy. And just going through, I ended up when I actually took the paralegal studies program, this was not what I planned to do with that field. I wanted to go off and work and help with workers' comp claims, things of that nature. It just so happened that once I took the course, I started seeing things that I was able to do on my own to try to help myself. And of course, being one to have experienced a great amount of credit issues, it was a process. And as I started taking the process step by step, I started learning a lot about the law, educating myself on the laws itself, then started branching out, helping friends, helping family. Then, of course, friends and family will refer people to you and, and it just basically just the Doppler effect. And then, going through and deciding to do this as a full-time job. And the good thing about it is it's not only helping other people, it's educating people so that they can continue and maintain. So it's a service that we offer that has been able to be ongoing because it's something that sticks with them, years from now.
Right. I agree with you. Credit issues have become a real problem. I, based on this interview, have taken an own look at my credit score and found out I didn't know enough about what was written on the page. It was very complicated and kind of scary. So I'm glad that we're here doing this show today. Well, let's talk about this. What is credit repair? Because I know a lot of the viewers really want to know what that is. What is credit repair?
Well, credit repair basically, it is the consumer, us taking charge of what's on our credit profile. Of course, you know that we have 3 major credit agencies or bureaus, as we call them. And as basically the way it works is anytime you fill out a credit application, or if you try to apply for anything, you're basically leaving a thumbprint as to where you were and what you did at that time. Your credit report is updated every minute of the day. And what you have to make sure of is that not only is the information being reported accurately, but you need to make sure that you're not being overcharged with finance charges. You need to make sure that the contract that you sign is actually being upheld for what you actually signed up for. The problems with that a lot of people need to understand that is out there with the credit bureaus and these collection companies and companies that you do business with, whether you have a good standing relationship with those companies or not, is if they inaccurately report anything to your credit profile, it is going to affect you. And it is so hard to get it off. Even if you have the proof to show that it's wrong, it's hard for you to be able to get a job, car insurance. And once you go through and you get that stuff removed, the process itself is easy, but it will affect you before you actually know that it's actually there. So, it's the timing of finding out. So the best way that you can go and make sure that everything is actually correct and accurate is to take charge. Take the time out, pull your credit report. You're able to obtain 1 free credit report per year. You're able to go to the, www.annualcreditreport.com. It's totally free. It's not one of those sites that tell you, it's free, but then after 30 days or 14 days, they charge your credit card that you used, at that time. That's just big business scam. And of course that business is operated and owned by the credit bureaus.
That just happened to me. Now that you say it, what happened was in preparation for the interview, I haven't had any reason to pull my credit history. So in prep for the interview, what I did was I went and pulled my credit report, and guess where I bought it from? One of those big companies that charged me $30. My wife said, "Wow, I could have gotten that for free. I had no idea." So why don't you give us that website again where somebody can go and get their credit?
You're able to actually retrieve your credit by visiting www.annualcreditreport.com. It is totally free. They will never come back and bill you. If you don't have access to the internet, or you prefer not to put your personal information online, then you can actually write into the bureaus, and they have to provide you with one free report from each bureau per year.
Okay. And one of the things I noticed when I pulled my own was I didn't really know how to read it, was the first thing. So it took me quite a bit of time to go through. But then a lot of the information on there wasn't accurate. For instance, places they had me employed, I had never been employed there. And there were lots of other inaccuracies. So I think what the consumer should do, first step is pull the credit report. Then the second, what should they do? Look at the things that are listed?
Well, the first thing, you read your credit report just like you read a book. You read it from top to bottom.
Okay.
In the first part of your credit report, you're going to have what we call the common area, what I call the common area. It's going to have your name, your address, your telephone number. Then it's also going to have your date of birth, social security number. You're also going to have an area with any past names that you've had or used. Now, it's important that you look at all of that information. Women that get married, their names change. Make sure that the information there is accurate. I think what we really need to understand is people don't need to have your social security number in order to run your credit. All they need is your simple name and your address, and they are able to